I'll start from the beginning. Sheffield Documentary Festival is one of the biggest documentary festivals, kind of top 3 in the world, but the biggest UK documentary festival. We have a film program, a conference program with master classes, panel sessions and discussions, and also a marketplace. And the marketplace is one of the biggest in the world. Filmmakers from all over the world come to pitch their projects, to try to secure funding and also new relationships and kind of resources and things like that. So in January this coming January, we open submissions for what we call the Meat Market, which is the biggest pitching initiative that we have in Sheffield. And it's an opportunity for new international feature documentaries to be pitched to international decision makers, so those who have funding or resources to give to you and your project. We have around 600 applications each year, and they're from all over the world, and we can select 65 projects. So if you're selected, you come to Sheffield as a producer and director team, excuse me, and you pitch your project. The application process is all online. You submit a treatment, a budget, a 1-minute trailer, which is very tight, but because we have to watch 600, it needs to be short. And the selection panel isn't just the Sheffield DocFest Marketplace team, it's also it is experts from around the world. So we make sure it's people who are currently commissioning and creating international documentary films who are selecting those projects, those early stage projects. The projects are usually in, excuse me, in production or kind of late stages of development. And we want to make sure that the 65 projects that are selected for the Meat Market are international. So it's not like half of them are from the UK and the rest of them are from the rest of the world. You have a real advantage coming to and applying to the Meat Market coming from Latin America and South America. If you feel that you have a project that has the legs to excuse me, to become an international feature doc, I really would advise you apply to the Meat Market, because you do have an advantage coming from this part of the world and telling stories from this part of the world. So I think that is an advantage to the people sitting in this room. So once you apply, I'll tell you a bit about how it works and what happens on the 2 days that are pitching. So once you're selected, you're one of the 65 projects, you come to Sheffield, and just before you come to the festival, you're given a list of decision makers. So we have around 300 decision makers, which mean they have investment for your film, or potentially. You, as a project in the Meat Market, you can select your kind of top people that you want to meet in the Meat Market. But the only way that you can meet them in the Meat Market is if that decision maker selects your project as well. So they also make decisions. So it's a little bit like, I don't know if you have Tinder here. It's a little bit like Tinder, but that means that there's already interest from both parties. You want to meet that funder, whether it's, a foundation or an international broadcaster. You want to meet them and you want to be commissioned by them, but they're already interested in your project. So when you sit down at your meetings, it's automatically creative and financial discussions, which is strong. So the success rate of the Meat Market is quite high for that reason, because it's very much made. This year, the Meat Market, the 65 projects in the meetings, they had about 1,400 meetings over 2 days, and already the market's generated about £5.5 million in deals. So, and that's the early stage. So the discussions keep happening after these meetings, but still from, that initial part, it's already generated kind of more than £5 million in deals. So it's successful.